Hey guys, it's Olivia and I'm back with another video. So last week I uploaded a video that wasn't all that happy. For a little bit of background information, if you don't already know, I am a track and field athlete and I specialized in long jump and triple jump. And last week I uploaded the vlog of my experience at the Canadian National Championship, which also doubled as the trials for the World Championship that is happening later this year in Budapest. So the National Championship didn't go as well as I had hoped. However, a week and a half prior, I actually set a new personal best in the triple jump, and that was a very exciting day for me. And I'm gonna roll the clip for you of how that all went down because I was recording the competition, so I have it all and all my commentary and all that jazz. But just before I play the clip, a little bit of background information. My personal best before this competition was 11.84 meters. So now I'm gonna run the clip and you're going to see two of my jumps from the competition.
3-3. 4-3-3. Yes. I know.
I'm not celebrating that. No.
I'm celebrating it.
No.
Let me be happy.
No. No.
Okay, we by 1 centimeter, but I was behind 4.
No.
So that could be as well. No measure, no board. Listen, I am content. I've been waiting for this for years. Oh my gosh. It felt rushed. And that was a good play. Let's go, Olivia!
Okay, so let me explain this clip a little bit. So if you don't know how triple jump works, everybody in the competition gets 3 jumps, and then the top 8 get 3 more for a total of 6. In this competition, I qualified for the top 8, which means I got 6 jumps total, and the 2 jumps you just saw were from rounds 5 and round 6. So the thing about me is I tend to save the best for last, which is good and bad, because it's good in the sense that you can just come out of nowhere and snatch the win, but it can be bad what if you don't jump far enough in the first 3 rounds to even make it to the next 3 rounds? And that is something that has made me nervous in the past. Now I'm becoming more consistent where I can whip out something big at the beginning and at the end, but there was a point in time where my first 3 jumps would be kind of mediocre, fingers crossed, hope I would make the top 8, and then once I was in the top 8, I was like, okay, I'm fine, because I know I can whip something out in round 6, because I pretty much always do. And another thing about this particular competition that I don't even think my coach knows, I don't know if he's gonna watch this video, but I did not warm up before this competition. Not because I'm one of those people who's like, oh, I don't need to warm up, I'm young, I can do that. No, that's foolish. That's what you're gonna pull every single muscle in your body. Warm up, okay? Do you wanna know the only reason I didn't warm up? Because I was late. So long story short, this competition was taking place at a facility that is an hour away from my house. Right? Wrong. It's an hour away from my house with pretty light traffic. I didn't account for the fact that this was an evening meet, better known as a twilight meet, meaning that I was going to have to drive through rush hour. So I didn't take that into consideration. So instead of taking an hour, it took me about an hour and 40 minutes. So I was like, oh, I'm going to compete at 6. I want to reach the track for 5. So I'm going to leave my house at 4. I left my house at 4 and I reached there at 5:40. And when I say reached there, I mean I reached the parking lot at 5:40. I still had to walk over to the track. So by the time I got to the actual track, people are already on the runway doing runway checks, which is basically before the competition starts, you get to do some checks to see if your foot is going to be on the board once the competition starts, right? So I get there, people are halfway through their runway checks. I just like take off my backpack, skip around for like 30 seconds, throw on my spikes, and then start doing runway checks. I warmed up for a total of 30 seconds and then jumped a personal best. And I remember talking to one of my teammates, who was also a friend of mine. I was talking to him like during the competition because he was also competing that day. He was doing long jump on the runway that was right beside the triple jump runway. And I was talking to him and I was like, if I PB today, that's so dumb. Like, I'm just like, that's so annoying. Like, the day when nothing was going right is the day that I'm gonna set a PB, and it literally happened. Sometimes it happens on the days you don't expect, and it could just be like the adrenaline of like, oh my gosh, I'm rushing, heart rate up. It could be that, or it could just be like I'm completely out of my head. Like, this is something about me. I tend to be an overthinker. So it's like if I show up to a competition and I'm like, oh, I feel great today, I'm gonna jump this distance, and then I start going through the rounds and I'm jumping lower than I thought I was going to, then I start getting frustrated and then I don't jump well. But if I just show up and I'm like, whatever happens, happens, I have no expectations for today, we're just gonna go, then I end up jumping well because I'm so out of my head. And I honestly think that's what happened, because I showed up to the track like, today is probably not gonna be great because I didn't get to prepare properly, and then it ended up being the best competition of my life. And so I recently graduated from university. When you're in university, at least in Canada, because different countries have like different levels of talent, but in Canada, when you're in the collegiate system, jumping 12 meters is the goal. If you can jump 12 meters, you are likely to make the podium at nationals indoors for university, which is called U Sports. So in America, you have NCAAs. In Canada, we have U Sports. And so if you can jump 12 meters, you're likely to be on that podium. And so the whole time I was in university, which for me was 6 years because it took me 6 years to finish my undergrad. Long story short, I switched majors twice, but we got it done. I got the degree. So anyways, the whole time that I was in university and competing varsity, 12 meters was the goal. And I kept getting so close. Like how I said before this competition, my personal best was 1184, which is only 16 centimeters away, which I did in February, which I was still in university at the time. I was competing varsity at the time, and I was right on the cusp of 12 meters. But in my collegiate career, I never did it. And so I am extremely ecstatic that I finally hit this goal. Like, I've been working towards it for 5 years now. The first time I ever triple jumped in my whole entire life, when I was 13 years old, I jumped 10.05. I've been a 10-meter jumper since the beginning. I didn't jump 11 meters for the first time until I was 19. It took me 6 years. And then I didn't jump 12 meters for the first time till a few weeks ago. I'm currently 24, so it took me another 5 years to jump 12. And we're not going to do the same thing before we get to 13 or before we get to 14. Like, I am ecstatic to be over 12 meters, but like, where's 13? Like, tick-tock. Like, I genuinely believe that in less than a year's time, I can be at 13, maybe even 13, maybe even 14. I don't know. Essentially, for the next year, my dad and I came up with an agreement. I don't know if I've ever spoken about this on my YouTube channel before. I don't remember. I make too many videos. But you know how some people take a gap year between high school and university? Well, I am getting my gap year between university and joining the real world. joining the 9 to 5 crew. So essentially, I just graduated uni 2 months ago, and I have pretty much until next summer to do whatever I want. And what I want to do is track and field. And so I'm going to continue to train with my university coach, and I'm no longer going to have school. And if you watch some of my other videos on my channel, I'm an Uber Eats driver / Uber X driver. So basically I can work whenever I want or not work whenever I want. So essentially nothing is going to get in the way of track. There's no more school. There's no more class. When you're a student athlete, they always say, remember, the student comes before the athlete. You're not an athlete student, you're a student athlete. So it's like if your grades weren't up, you didn't get to be on a varsity team. You can't be out here skipping class to go to practice. Like, that's not what it was. You were a student first, athlete second. Never in my life have I ever been an athlete first, because there was always school or work or whatever. Now it's just track. Yes, I will still be doing Uber because I still need to make money. I still have a little bit of bills to pay. But basically, I live at home with my parents, and I get to continue to live here for free for the next year while I potentially go pro in track and field. So yeah, track is first for the first time ever. And I genuinely think that in the past, I've been stuck at these different levels because earlier in my career, it was lack of coaching because there are like no jumps coaches in Canada for the most part. And then when I got to university, I finally had a dedicated jumps coach for the first time. But then so many things happened in uni. Like my first year, the school went on strike. Also, I didn't even make the team my first year of uni. So there was that. So he wasn't my coach my first year of uni because I wasn't on the team. And then we all know that COVID happened. So it's really like the only real full years that I've had with my coach are my second, third, and sixth year, because my fourth and fifth year were kind of interrupted by COVID. And also my fifth year, I was also injured. So I wasn't training to the greatest of my ability. I was doing a lot of modified workouts. So the reason it took me so long to get from 11 to 12, 4 years, is because 2 of those years I wasn't even really jumping because the world was closed and I was stuck in my house. So those don't really count. And then the year that I finally got to come back, well, I'm a little rusty, right? So I would say if you subtract the COVID years and you subtract the rust buster year because I hadn't triple jumped in 2 years. When you take those out, it really only took me 1 year to get from 11 to 12, if you want to think about it that way. So it's like, I genuinely think that this next year, hopefully there are no interruptions, I can get from 12 to 13, and I can potentially get from 13 to 14. Who knows? So yeah. That's this video. I just wanted to talk about something that makes me happy, something that I've been working towards for 5 years, and I finally did it. And I am finally in the 12-meter club, but I don't intend to stay here for 5 more years. I'm intending to get to the 13-meter club before you know it, 14-meter club right after that. Like, boom, boom, boom. I don't have time to be sitting in these clubs. 6 years at 10, 5 years at 11. We're going like 6 months at 12. Like, we're gonna get to 13 in the indoor season. I'm speaking it into existence. For indoor season, I intend to hit 13 meters. And by next outdoor season, I hope to be at 14. Those are my goals. And I know that those are incredibly large goals. If you're in the triple jump world, you probably think that I'm crazy, but those are the goals that I'm setting. So I'm going to achieve them. So that's all for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, be sure to share it with them. All my social media links will be down below in case you want to follow me on there. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because I make new videos every Monday. Thank you to my channel members, and be sure to check out one of these suggested videos, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video.